Hey guys, Justin here in the chapel with the ProPresenter Mac. I have a few updates for you ProPresenter operators that are pretty important, and I think they apply to both the chapel and the worship center operators. So I have a little list down here if you want to follow along. I've got 4 or 5 things I want to go through really quickly. We're now using Dropbox to transfer Don's sermon files to the computers. That way he just has to upload it once. We can download it in both places simultaneously. You can update it fairly frequently. We don't have to worry about an email. We don't have to worry about a flash drive. So this just kind of makes life a little easier. Up here, you'll notice this little icon right here. It looks like a box that has an opening at the top. Click that. That's Dropbox. So first, the easiest way to do it is just click on this file folder and then Sunday sermon slides. There's some other stuff in here that's for special events, or if you need a logo for whatever reason, there's some logos there. So this is last week's sermon, and this is what you're going to do to download it and then process it. So make sure you don't just drag it to the desktop, because, well, it's actually already here. But if you just drag it onto the desktop, then it will remove it from Dropbox. So you need to copy it. So you're going to right-click, click Copy, right-click on the desktop, and click Paste. Okay. Now, the reason you do that is so that it stays in Dropbox for the other operator to use, because if you don't, then they don't have the sermon slides and I have to re-upload it. So make sure to copy and paste out of Dropbox. And that's it. You close it and then process it like you normally would. We'll open them up in Keynote, all that stuff. Boxcast check. Boxcast is the service that we use to record and broadcast our Sunday morning, Sunday evening services, special events, all that stuff. They're little translucent boxes that have lots of little lights in them, and they stream our video stuff. So in order to cut down on our broadcast being out, or us not catching when they fail, to do a firmware update, things like that, one of the things I'm going to ask you guys to do is to check Boxcast. And I wrote a little program for it, so it's really easy. There's this Boxcast check app. Now, another new thing that's going to happen that kind of involves this is Sunday mornings at 2 a.m., all of the Macs will restart themselves. This kind of clears out any memory logs, any, if it's being overwhelmed with memory, that's a big issue on the Pro Tools Mac. Or if there's any programs open that don't need to be open, things like that, like if I was doing research on something and then left it up or whatever, that way you guys start from a clean slate every Sunday morning. Part of our automatic login stuff, so when you get to the computer, you'll be logging into it. If you don't know the password, find me, let me know. There's a process to it, but I'm not going to share it on a video that I'm putting online. So when you log in, a couple of programs will automatically start up. This is one of them. So this program will launch Safari and take you to this web page. And this web page will show you all 4 of our Boxcasters. We have one in the Worship Center, one in room 205 for Ben's Kainos class, one in room 202 for Doug's New Horizon class, and one in the chapel. As we can see, one of these is offline. This is a problem. So this is something that I need to be aware of on a Sunday. Now, most Sundays I have the time to go in and check on it. Before anyone else gets here, I'll come in and check on all the Boxcasters to make sure they're ready. Sometimes, if something is more pressing, I won't get to it right away. So, if this happens, if you see this error log, you need to hit no, okay, on this little pop-up dialog box. If they're fine, click yes. It'll say, okay, great. If you click no, it's going to do a couple things. One of these things is in the background. See how a calendar pops up? It makes a little alert on my calendar. Click OK. And then it tells you, thanks, please let me know. I'm on channel 1, radio me when you see it. Okay? And that's it. That's all you have to do. So then you can close that and we're good. Another little quick thing I made for you, since there's lots of little things that are starting that are kind of on your list now to do on a normal Sunday, like countdown clocks, sermon countdowns, all of these little things. I think it's handy to have them all in one place so that you see them all. That's this ProPresenter checklist. This will also open when you log into the computer. So ProPresenter checklist. If it doesn't open for some reason, or if you accidentally close it, you can get to it right here. So we'll kind of keep this over here. What's your name? Where are you? Chapel. And then this is your Sunday morning checklist. This is pre-service checklist. So, did we check Boxcast? Yep. Are all the projectors on, screens lowered, etc.? Yep. Is the sermon countdown clock set up? It's not. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to open up ProPresenter 6. Right, ProPresenter 6 is new to the chapel as of the first week it'll be used is June 12th, so this upcoming Sunday. This is Pro 5. Notice the logo is a little rounder. Pro in Pro 6 is white. I guess that's the easiest way to tell. I will eventually take this one off of the dock so that all you see is this. So this is Pro 6. Every time you open it for the first time, it's going to ask you to optimize your display, and then they will come back up. So 19 documents need to be updated. Don't worry about that. Click Update. Okay. That's one of those little things. I don't really know what it's doing yet. That's still one of those things that's new. It doesn't seem to be really interfering. So anyway. So, and it looks just like ProPresenter. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. There are some things that look different, like these icons look different, but anyway, I kind of went over that in another video. I'll put a link here so you can go to that video and see what the differences are. So, sermon countdown clock. We're going to go to View, Clocks, and we're going to do sermon countdown. All you have to do, this is going to count down to 11:40 a.m. That's when Don needs to at least if things are going to try to run on schedule, he needs to be walking out of the chapel. So click Start. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's about 2 p.m. right now, so we've got 10 hours and 15 minutes apparently until 11:40 a.m. tomorrow. Start of service. You can also go ahead and start that and just let it go. The start of service will count down to 10:50 a.m. So we can close that. And what we do is on the back screen, I'll go ahead and pull that up so you can see it. We've made a couple of changes to this, nothing big, but let's do announcements, songs, prelude. So we've got the clock, current slide, next slide, message. Those things are the same. Sermon countdown is here, start of service is here. The band needs to pay attention to the blue. This is when the prelude needs to start. The sermon countdown is in red. That's what the preachers need to pay attention to. And so those will automatically start. In order to have the service countdown, start of service countdown, show up on the screen, you need to do that on messages. Start of service, show message, and it'll show up over there. That may need to be reconfigured since Pro 6 has it apparently starting over here. It should start in the top right. By the way, Pro 6 has this handy feature. I covered this on the other video, but if you need to transition between the front screen and back screen to see what's there, they have this cool little toggle button. So, there you go. Alright, so we got the sermon countdown, we got that start of service clock set up, we got the start of service clock displayed. Do all items have a back screen queue? So instead of having to keep a little dialog box open down here and change the layout of the back screens, it will do it for you automatically. This is our prelude in Creative. So it will need to be on the prelude, announcements, and sermon back screen layout. So you can right click, add queue, stage display layout, announcements, sermon, prelude. Okay, this is a song, so it needs to be on the song back screen layout. So we'll do add queue, stage display layout, songs. And so it will automatically change the back screen layout when you click on them. See this little orange icon right here? Looks like a little megaphone. That changes the stage display. So we need to make sure that every single item has one of these. So add queue, stage display layout. This is announcements, so it needs to have the announcements. Let's go ahead and do it for this one too, for good measure. This is a song, add queue, stage display layout, songs. So you're just going to go through that and do that for every single one of them. And is the sermon imported? So were you unable to complete any items before the service? No. All is well. Something, I don't care. Leave me a message. Now, post-service. After service, turn off the projectors, raise the rear screen. That's over by the audio desk. If you don't know where it is, ask the audio engineer. They probably know where it is. Have you submitted any error or bugs? That's what this is for. This is also new to the chapel. So if you click this, it'll launch another little web page over here, and it'll ask you, are there any bugs? So if we have slides missing, lyrical errors, screen jumping, missing graphics, slides are out of order, Did the worship leader make a weird request, like he wants to get rid of the whole song and put in a different song? I really hope that never happens, but I mean, whatever. If there's an error or a bug, if you see ProPresenter doing something weird, throw it in there so we can keep track of it. All right. And after you hit submit on this, please put the computer to sleep. Enable to complete any items. No. We're going to submit, and then we're going to put the computer to sleep. I'm not going to do it now because it would end my recording, but the way you do that is you click the apple and then sleep. Now, whenever you walk away from the computer, this is something new that I want to try to start doing. Whenever you walk away from the computer, let's try putting it to sleep. Or not to sleep. Let's try locking the screen so that nobody messes with it. That's done with this little, these hotkeys right here. So it's Control, Shift, and then Eject. So Control, Shift, Eject. And all that does is lock the screen. The video is going to keep going, but it makes it to where only people who know the password can edit things. I did make a video about ProPresenter 6. I'll link to that video again right here, or in the description of this video. If you have any questions, let me know. I think that's it for now.